Namo tas bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tas bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tas bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Everyone sarnai to all. So today's program is based on the lesson 9 Abhidhamma topic of 12 Arupawachara mind energies. Arupawachara means that, out of the 31 realms, is the most finest material realm. So we'll go straight into it. If you have any questions, you may ask as we go. So I'm sure you remember we talked about the 31 realms at the beginning of this lesson series. 31 realms in summary is the different realms that where our mind energy get reborn after death. These are the realms. There are 31 of them, and today we are primarily focusing on the top 4, which is top 4 realms called Arupa Loka or Arupa realms, which means Arupa means no physical material exists in those realms. So no body exists, it's just the mind. In those realms, there's no physical body of any beings, it's just the mind energies. So that's why it's called Arupawachara. And there are 12 mind energies that exist in these realms, 12 different types, 3 per each realm. Okay, and they have unique names. So if you can remember that the beings in these realms, the 6 heavens and the Manusaloka or the human worlds, can achieve through concentration meditation called samatha meditation techniques. They can develop their mind to different higher levels of concentration called dhyana or jhana. And the first jhana state, as a human being, for example, or as a deity that you can develop, means that you'll experience the first the mind energies of these first 3 Rupa Loka realms beings. So anyone who get born in these 3 realms, these are the Bramma worlds, the 16 Bramma worlds that we talked about. In that, the first 3 are here: Mahabrahma, Purohita Brahma, Parisajya Brahma. In those realms, beings experience the first jhana state. So you can also experience that by developing your concentration to that level as you're meditating in the human realms, for example, or even in these heaven realms. So that's the first dhyana, and then second dhyana state will experience the mental state of these beings in these second dhyana state realms, these 3. Abhasara, Apamanapaha, Paritabha Brahma worlds or realms. And then third dhyana is basically the one above, the 3 above that: Subhakinnaka, Apamanasubha, Paritasubha. That's the third dhyana state. And the fourth dhyana state is the realms above that, up until Akanitta Brahma worlds. Now that's the Rupa Loka. Rupa Loka means they have a very fine body and mind. Except there's a mindless realms where just the body. But the realms above that is where we talk about the fifth dhyana. So in Abhidhamma, there's only 5 dhyana states, but the fifth dhyana is subcategorized into 1, 2, 3. So when you go above the fourth dhyana, you're talking about these 4 realms. So these are all classed under fifth dhyana. But fifth dhyana first level is Akasanyayatana, which is this one. Then the fifth dhyana second level is Viññāñañcāyatana, which is this one, this realm. And the fifth dhyana third level is Akinchanyayatana, which is this level. And the highest level is level 4 of the fifth dhyana, called Nevasanya Nasanyayatana. And that is the most blissful mental state that you can experience within this 31 realms. So we're going to talk about those fifth level dhyanas today in this lesson, and the meaning of those 4 realms are classed here. So when we talk about Akasanyayatana, in that realm, the beings in that realm, or the mind energies in that realm, primarily focus on the infinite space or sky. So that's their primary focus, to attain the first level of dhyana, first level of the fifth dhyana state. So in order to achieve that first level of the fifth dhyana state, which is Akasanyayatana, one has to focus on the space or the sky elements instead of the physical material body elements. So because the person or the mind that focus on the Akasanyayatana doesn't want to focus on the physical body anymore, because that person believes that physical body is too much of hindrance to a blissful state. Therefore, they want to focus purely on the space or the sky element, which is non-body, non-material, non-physical. So when they focus on the space, their concentration will develop into a very, very fine and blissful state, which is more blissful than the physical realm focuses. And they slowly begin to develop their concentration to expand into the infinite space, or focusing on the infinite space. And that's what that means. Whenever you achieve the fifth level first dhyana state, you're focusing on the infinite space or the sky. And that's a very blissful state than the fourth dhyana and below. Then the next stage is really focusing on the mind energies only. So they, instead of focusing on the infinite space, that person decides to focus on the mind itself. And that's called Viññāñañcāyatana. Viññāna means mind. So when you focus on the mind, you break away from the first level of the fifth dhyana into the second level of the fifth dhyana state, which is Viññāñañcāyatana. Viññāñañcāyatana, mind energy state. And then when someone actually focus on their mind energies for some time, they begin to feel that it's time to move on to the next level of dhyana state on this fifth concentration level, which is the focusing on the non-existence of the first dhyana state. So when I say first dhyana state, which is the focus of the infinite space, so that person begins to realize that the infinite space or sky focus is no longer there. which is the first dhyana state. Therefore, I should now focus on the non-existence of the first dhyana state. And when they do that, they begin to break away from the second dhyana state into the third dhyana state, which is called Akinchanyayatana Kusalsita or dhyana state. And when they spend focusing on that in the third level of the fifth dhyana, they begin to think it's time to move on to the highest level, which is the fourth level dhyana stage. And in order to do that, I must break away my focus of the non-existence of the first dhyana state and focus purely on the awareness and unawareness of the most finest mind energy state, which is called Neva Sanya Na Sanya Yatana Kusal state. So let's look into that in detail, but that's just a summary of what's to come today. That's the topic we are discussing today, which is the mind energies of the top four level of the realms, where the beings who are born in these realms or who will experience the mind energies of these realms, but what that mind energy looks like, what that mind energy kind of feels like, is what we're going to discuss in this topic today. Any questions so far? Okay, seems there's no questions. So let's move on to the next slide. So before we go to that, I want to give you a bit of overview of the different Abhidhamma topics that we're talking about and we have covered so far in this slide. So I normally cover this high-level summary in all lessons. So today is the 9th lesson. But if you joined and if you're hearing this for the first time, this will give you a bit of understanding in terms of the context of this class. So when we talk about the Abhidhamma teachings of the Theravada Buddhism, which is the most taught subject of the 3 subjects in the Theravada Buddhism, Sutra, Vinaya, Abhidhamma. Sutra means the Tathagata Sammasambuddha's, discourses to various parties. And the recording of that, there are 21,000 of them, of various Dhamma topics covered in the Sutra Pitaka. There's further 21,000 topics of discipline or rules, how the monks and the laymen should protect their mind and their actions and their words based on discipline, Buddhist discipline principles. There are 21,000 of them are covered in the Vinaya or the discipline series of books. And the last but not least, the highest teaching topic of Abhidhamma, there are 42,000 Dhamma topics are covered in there. So that has the most coverage of the Dhamma. And once you understand these principles, you basically understand, the essence of Buddhism. So in this topic of Abhidhamma, it's broken into 4 areas. It's covered in 7 books. The Abhidhamma topic is covered in 7 books. And what we're discussing here today is the summary of the first book, the Manual of Abhidhamma. And in that book, there are 4 categories of energy types are discussed. And these 4 categories of energies are similar to what you learn in science, similar to the periodic table concept. But according to the periodic table, that's the most finest elements that makes up all the physical world around us. But according to Buddhism, there are even finer elements that creates all things around us. not just in this realm, but in all 31 realms. So those elements are of 170 in total, but the one unique energy called Nibbana, it's an energy that exists outside of the 31 realms, but it is an energy that exists. So that's why it is covered in this topic. But just to clarify, this topic covers the 170 energy types, and so far we covered 52 thoughts, energies, or in Pali is called Chaitasika. In English, it actually describes as mental factors. Okay, but for simplicity, I'm going to use the word thoughts because that's what we understand these, a category of energies in a day-to-day language. But when we say the word thoughts, we really means the mental factors, that occurs in our mind. There are 52 different unique energy types of thoughts. We covered that in the first few lessons. So if you haven't listened to them before, I would highly suggest that you will refer to those lessons in the YouTube channel where you will be watching this. And the 89 energy types, well, today we're going to cover the last 12 of those 89 energy types. We have covered the remainders in the previous lessons. And the next lesson, the final lesson, we're going to cover the 28 Rupa energy types and the most important energy of one in its own class called Nibbana. So Nibbana energy is energy that really exists. It's not something that doesn't exist. It does exist, and Buddhism teaches you how to convert your mind energies into Nibbana energy, and there's a process to follow to do that, and we call the Eightfold Path or Aryastangik Marga. The Eightfold Path basically it explains a particular the process, which is neither extremes, right? It's a middle path, and using that, also incorporated to that path is meditation. There are two types of meditation: insight meditation and concentration meditation. And to really achieve Nibbana, you have to practice. You have to start with concentration meditation and develop your concentration to a, highly concentrative state called samadhi. And there are different levels of samadhi. Samadhi means when you're fully concentrated on whatever you're focusing on for a long time. And when you achieve that, you can further develop your concentration into what's called dhyana level. There are 5 levels of dhyana. There are 8 in total, but the 5th level is subclass as level 1, 2, 3, 4 to make it 8. But these meditation techniques, the concentration meditation techniques existed before Buddha's times. And it is not a Buddhist meditation technique, but it is used in Buddhism to get to or to practice what's called insight meditation. So insight meditation is basically means you're looking inward for your thoughts and mind energies and their appearance and disappearance and their changing nature. You observe those changing nature as a third person, and that's basically looking inward, and that's called insight meditation. There are 21 types of insight meditations taught in Theravada Buddhism, and these insight meditations are only taught in Theravada Buddhism, and those are the meditation techniques that helps you to achieve nirvana. So the samatha or the concentration meditation does not get you to nirvana. it basically helps you to develop concentration, which will then help you to practice insight meditation. And it is the insight meditation technique that helps you to achieve nirvana, because that is what the Buddha has found to become enlightenment. So in his infinite wisdom, he found that there are 89 mind energies that exist in all of these 31 realms, beings, minds. And within those 89 mind energies, there are 52 variations of thoughts, 52 unique thoughts that can occur in some of those mind energies. Minimum out of the 52 is 7 thoughts that exist in each mind energy, but maximum, I believe, is about 33. That needs to be confirmed. But the material energy, 28 material energy, we will talk about that in the next lesson. That is our last lesson. And in that 10th lesson, we will cover what they are and how they impact us and how we can meditate using them. And also the most important, Nibbana energy. We use the word energy because that's the only way to describe it in a high level terms, but we can't even classify it as energy. It's in its own class. Nibbana energy means that it has no qualities of any of the above 3 energy types: mind energy, thought energy, or material energy. It's none of those. It's in its own class. It has no characteristics of the mind energy, thought energy, or the material energy. And unlike mind energy, thought energy, and material energy, this Nibbana energy has no beginning, no end. It just has a middle. It just sustains itself. So it doesn't change. Whereas the other energies have a beginning, middle, and end. Okay, let's move on. So the next slide, we're going to summarize what I mean by Nama Dharma, or mind energies and thought energies. So we know that all beings have what's called a mind. And this mind changes at an exponential rate, at a rate of billions and trillions of vibrations per second. And in during this change, I created this slide to visualize and to explain the relationship between mind and thought energies. There's this verse from the Therawada Buddhist books that says that the thought energies, it starts with the mind energy, it sustains with the mind energy, and it dies with the mind energy vibrations. So mind energy has 3 states: Utpada, Thiti, Bhanga. Utpada means beginning. That's what I try to explain here, or appearance, right? So there's a beginning, which has the same duration time frame. Let's call it, there's a unique time measurement called Chittakshana. Chittakshana means, it's hard to put that into numbers, but if you can imagine, like 1/1,000,000th of a second. So whatever the measurement is, this is the same time frame as the duration and the end. So all these have 3 equal time frames, and there's no fourth. It's only 3 stages. It begins, it sustains itself, or has a duration, and it ends. So appear, duration, and disappear. Those are the 3 states. Then the next mind energy appears, and it sustains, and it dies. So like that. So appears, duration, and it ends. So this appearing and disappearing of the mind energy is basically the nature of our existence. So all beings have this type of mind energy. When we born, we have the very first mind energy that is created based on the previous karma, as a result of a previous karma. And that is basically what comes to our mother's womb. And then from that, we sustain our body until we die, until the last vibrational energy of the mind energy. Now, this picture shows you that the black line has the mind energy, which is like the foundation, right? And with that foundation, there are 7 different colors, which represent the seven different thoughts, minimum 7 different thoughts that occurs with our mind energy, which is, first one is called contact, phassa in Pali, feel or vedana in Pali. So the contact means for your focus to detect something, for your mind to detect something, it has to contact with something else. It could be inside or outside. It could be basically that, like when we look around, we don't see everything because we're not making contact with everything that we look around. But when our focus goes to one thing that we looked around for, one thing that caught our attention, for our mind to go there, first the contact thought has to make contact with that object. So the job of the contact is to make contact. And then at that time, then the recognition thought will determine what it is that we made contact with. And the intention thought will create intention, whether it's good or bad, which will also determine what the karmic effect going to be, good or bad. And then the one-pointedness will create some concentration, depending on how strong that is, so you can focus on it. And the faculty of life gives you energy to focus on it, so it creates the energy needed to keep your concentration on that object that you focus on. And the recall will help you to think about additional information about what you focus on. So these are the minimum 7 thoughts that occurs with the mind energy. So that's why I color coordinated them, so you can see the relationship with the black line, which is the mind energy, that they all begin together, they all sustain together, and they die together, and then there's no connection. It just start, and then it has duration, and it ends like that. So there are infinite number of vibrations like this, and we always create vibrations in our mind. And when we die, what happens is our mind energy get attached to a body in a different realm immediately, in that same speed. And then that body will develop, and it grows, and it gets old, and it dies. And then when its lifeline expires, it moves on to the next realm, or maybe get born in the same realm. But wherever we go, we take our mind. Mind is what's going, not the body. So we leave the body behind, but our mind travels through these 31 realms, infinite number of times, until that travel journey will not stop until you achieve nirvana, until we convert this mind energy into the most purest of energies of nibbana. That's the process of Buddhism. That's what Buddhism teaches you, how to convert your mind energy to nirvana energy. That's the only way to cease existence. That's the only way to stop rebirth. If you can stop the journey of your mind, if you can stop this mind energy creating the next mind energy after birth, that's called achieving nirvana. And the reason the mind energy get created one after the other is of 3 root causes, which is the ignorance, moha, and then the desire, lobha, and then dvesha, which means anger or dislike. Okay, because of those three thoughts, those are the three root causes why a mind energy will travel from one energy to another. Until we remove those three root cause of existence, or three thoughts that cause us to create never-ending mind energies, we will keep continuing in this life and next life. So that's why that it is taught in Buddhism. There's a process to eliminate the next mind energy after death, called Satipatthana Sutta, that's the practical way to purify your mind from those negative thoughts, negative karma creation thoughts. There are 14 of them. We covered them in the previous lessons, so I highly recommend that you revisit those and practice insight meditation, because that's the reason why we are born. According to Buddhism, the reason we have a human life is to practice, is to learn Buddhism, practice insight meditation, and end the rebirth. That's the only thing why we're here for. So if you're doing anything else, that means you're not following the journey, following the process that Buddha has taught us. And if you don't seize this opportunity, if you don't take this chance in this lifetime, who knows when you will hear this kind of Dhamma again? And who knows for how long you have to wait till you hear this kind of Dhamma. It is very rare to hear this Dhamma. It is one of the rarest opportunities that you're witnessing today. So I want you to take a serious notice and take achieving the nirvana job very seriously. And my intention for you all who are taking part today, and whoever is listening in many years to come, that you will take this opportunity, learn the Dhamma, learn the Nama Rupa Dharma, and learn the insight meditation and achieve the Nibbana in this lifetime itself. According to the Mahasatipatthana Sutra, which summarizes the 21 insight meditation technique in the Tripitaka, in the Sutra Pitaka, it is said that if someone practiced this insight meditation for 7 consecutive days, you can achieve the nirvana, or the closest state of Sakradagami. Anagami or Arahat states. So you can achieve either Anagami, which is the state before achieving nirvana, or the Arahat state, which is the nirvana state. If you practice this insight meditation for 7 consecutive days minimum, and maximum it can take up to 7 years if you don't do it regularly. So you can, according to the Tathagata Buddha's teaching, that you can achieve nirvana in this lifetime. So it is very important while we live, while we do things to manage our life in this realm, that we practice the insight meditation and we give it the top priority. Because we only do things when we give priority to them. If you don't practice the Dhamma, that means you haven't made it your top priority. It's not a must for you to do that. So you have to make it a must for you to practice the Dhamma, practice meditation, and make it a must to achieve nirvana in this lifetime. And that's my suggestion. So it's up to you to take it. Let's move on to today's topic. If you've got any questions, you can unmute and ask now. Do you have any question? Okay, let's move on to today's lesson. So today's lesson number 9, is based on the 12 different mind energies that exist in the fine material realms, where in these four realms only mind exists. There's no body. There's no body of whatsoever that exists in these four realms. These are the highest blissful state the mind can experience in this 31 realm, and we're going to talk about that now. So let's look at the four different realms and the four different levels of dhyana once we achieve the fifth dhyana. So in order to achieve fifth dhyana, you have to practice concentration meditation, and you have to achieve the first dhyana, second dhyana, fourth dhyana, and then when you develop your fourth dhyana to the next level, that's when you achieve the fifth dhyana, and then that's the only state that you can develop from to achieve the other four levels of fifth dhyana, which we look at now. So the way to read this table is that the number column has the different dhyana numbers, and the second column called karma creation mind energy category. So this, out of the 12 Arupawachara sit or mind energies, we're going to talk about the first four. The first four is focusing on karma creation mind energies. So these are karma creation thoughts, not thoughts, but karma creation sit. There are four of them. These are the sit or mind energies that you can develop while you're in this realm, human realm, by practicing concentration meditation. And once you practice this, when you die, if you don't achieve nirvana by practicing insight meditation, then the karma from these levels of fifth dhyana will help you to be born in one of the top four realms in this Arupavachara realms. So that's why it's called karma creation mind energies, because these four dhyana states of the fifth dhyana level will help you to be born in those realms after death. So it has a karmic effect of that level. So that's why it's called karma creation. So there are four under this category. The first one, these four are basically just takes the name of the realm. That's all it is. They're all fifth level. So the third column focus on the root cause of this mind energy. So the mind energy column is column 2. That's the name given to the mind energy, the kusal mind energy. Kusal means positive karma creation thought. And then the third column talks about root causes. So in order to have these mind energies, you would have root causes. Root causes are alobha, adosa, amoha. Alobha means generosity. Adosa means loving kindness, the opposite of dvesha or opposite of anger. And amoha means wisdom, the opposite of ignorance. So with ignorance, you cannot achieve these mind energies. You must have wisdom. The opposite of ignorance is wisdom or prajna, right? Amoha means wisdom or prajna. And then alobha means generosity or giving, right? And the opposite of that is lobha. Lobha means you don't want to share. So you must have these thoughts, in order to achieve these mental states. Alobha, adosa, amoha. Those are the root causes to have this mind energy. And the primary focus of this mind energy, or whoever is meditating with this fifth level dhyana, first dhyana of the fifth dhyana state is that they're focusing on infinite space. That's why it's called akasanya. Akasa means space or sky. Akasanya means focusing on space or the sky. That's the primary focus to achieve the first fifth level dhyana. So in the last column, samadhi stage, it talks about the number of the dhyana and then the sub-level number of the dhyana. So when you talk about first, second, third level dhyana in our descriptions, we talk about these ones. But they're all under the fifth dhyana stage. Any questions on that? Imash Mali, Chitrika, Nangi, do you have any questions? So are you all clear?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So the second dhyana state, which is called Vijnananchayatana. Vijnananchayatana means focusing only on the mind energy. So Vijnana means mind, okay, mind energy, Sita. So when you're focusing on your own mind, that's when you can reach this second level of the fifth dhyana. Again, the primary focus is on the Vijnananchayatana or the mind energy. The previous one was infinite space or sky. So the person who's focusing on that energy will maybe decide to break away from that focus, and I want to achieve the next level, and therefore they focus on the mind energy level. When you focus on the mind energy level, you break in your primary focus away from the infinite space. Therefore, you will shift your dhyana level to the second level of the fifth dhyana state, which is second level, which is focusing on the mind energy. Then the person who's in the second dhyana level of the fifth dhyana state may want to think it's time for me to move to the third level of the dhyana state. And to do that, they have to break away from the second level focus. So in order to achieve the third level means focusing on the non-existence of the first dhyana state. So first dhyana state is this one, which is focusing on the infinite space. So this person who's practicing the fifth dhyana state meditation will realize that it's time to move away from the second dhyana state to the third dhyana, and that I must, they realize that I don't now see the infinite space or sky focus, right, which is the first dhyana state. So it's time to basically acknowledge, the fact that you're not focusing on the first dhyana state. So they will recite these words to break away from that. They will say that the words called natti kinchi. Natti kinchi means it doesn't exist. So the first dhyana stage doesn't exist, is what they're saying. Natti kinchi, natti kinchi. And when they recite that, they're basically acknowledging that I'm not focusing on the first dhyana state because it's not there anymore. That's the meaning behind it. So when they acknowledge over and over again that the first dhyana state doesn't exist, then they break away from the second dhyana state and move to the third dhyana state, which is called Akinchanyayatana Kusala Sita or dhyana state. And that's meaning of that is focusing on the non-existence of the first dhyana state. So non-existence of this dhyana state will get them from the second dhyana to third dhyana in the fifth dhyana state level. So that's how you move from one to the other. And then lastly, when someone keep focusing on the third dhyana state, saying natti kinchi, they realize it's time to move to the fourth dhyana state, which is the most blissful state there ever exists before the nirvana state. And most people, especially who are non-Buddhists, who doesn't have this understanding, think that this is nirvana because it's that blissful. And to move to that fourth level of the fifth dhyana, you have to really focus on the calmness and the serene nature of your focus. So in order to attain the fourth dhyana state, the mind that attained the third dhyana state needs to focus on the third mind state and recite that this focus is calm and this focus is serene. So when that person recites or acknowledges that my focus is so calm and so serene, then they will experience the most finest of mind energies that exist. And that's called the neva sanya na sanya yatana kusala sita. So that is the most finest mental state there exists at the fifth dhyana level. And whoever experienced that, neva sanya means the sanya or the focus is there. With the most finest focus is there, and then it's not there. So it means that your finest focus is there and not there. The awareness of it being there and not there is basically what this dhyana state experiences. And the awareness of the focus and the unawareness of the focus is what we are really focusing when you're experiencing at this level. So that's what the primary focus column says: awareness and unawareness of the most finest mind energy focus is what we're experiencing as a most blissful state. So at this stage, we're not experiencing the non-existence of the first dhyana or the mind energy or the infinite space. We're experiencing the awareness and unawareness of the most finest mind energy there exists, which is the most blissful. And when you're at that stage, it is known as the fifth dhyana state with fourth level, fourth dhyana of the fifth dhyana state, however you want to interpret it. But that's the highest level. So all of these four creates karma. So you can experience these four levels of the fifth dhyana in this human life, as a human being, as a deity, before you die. But let's say you achieve any of these and you die, then the other four out of the 12 is shown in this realm, this slide. These mind energies helps to be born in the Bramma realm. So this is what helps you to be born. So the first four helps you to create the karma to be born in those realms if you're not already born there. Okay, so this is like so basically if you're born there, you can experience this all the time depending on the realm you're born in. But if you're born outside of those realms, you can still experience these mental states, like as a human being or as a deity. And if you're outside of those realms and experiencing these mental states, and then you die, then these are the four karma resultant mind energies that help you to be born there. So these are the vipakasit. Vipakasit means these are the result of the first 4 karma creation mind energies that will help you to be born in any of these 4 realms. So if you only got to the infinite, akasanyayatana, kusalsit, and died, then when you're born again, there's a high chance that you'll be born in this realm, if there's no other karma superseding it. So like that, it's the same meaning. The only difference is that the purpose is different. These four mind energies help you to be born in those 4 realms. That's what that means. That's what this slide means. These mind energies help you to be born in the Bramma realms as a result of a karma. The karma is the creation of these mind energies in the previous life, outside of these realms. Do you all understand that? Is that clear?
Let me ask a question, please.
Yeah, sure.
At second one, when focusing on only the mind energy, it's mean Vijnana Nyayatana.
Yeah.
Is the process similar to Chittanupassana?
Yes, that's exactly what you're focusing on. Because Chittanupassana meditation, inside meditation techniques, focuses on the mind energies only, right? Okay. So, but the primary focus in the Chittanupassana meditation is really separating the sanya and vedana. Sanya means recognition, what you recognize to create those mind energies. What are the causes that you recognize to create those mind energies, and the feelings that were generated from those causes. So you're trying to separate the two so that you break in a way the mind energy, but it is Chittanupassana, but really focusing only on the the vijnana. Vijnana means out of the 89 vijnanas, whatever vijnana that you have, you just acknowledge that this is the vijnana that I have, and you're just focusing on the concept of the vijnana in the vijnana chayatana, not the meaning. You're just focusing on the concept, the actual vijnana itself. You're not trying to break it away, break it down as sanya and vedana in this concept. Is that clear, Mali?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So that's the focus of this second slide. So this is the second lots of 4, which makes it 8 out of the 12. Now going to the last slide, which talks about karma which talks about the functional mind energies. So the last 4 talks about functional. Functional means it doesn't create karma. These are the mind energies that occur in someone who became margaphala, like Sovan, Sakadagami, Arihat. So these really Arihat person's mind energies. So if someone became Arihat in this realm, in the Akasanyayatana or Vijnanachayatana or Akinchanyayatana or Nevasanya Nasanyayatana realms, they do not create karma. They use these mind energies, the functional mind energies, or the Arupawachara Vipakasit. They use these mind energies to basically spend their time there before they expire from those realms. So when they pass away, they attain Nibbana, but because they became Arahat, they will not create negative or positive karma in these realms. They will use these functional mind energies or these vipakasits to basically practice or maintain their minds without creating karma. And again, they use the same focuses here, just like the other 8. mind energies, but they practice or they maintain their mind energies using the same focuses, but they do not create karma. That's the only difference. So the last 4 does not create karma. The previous 4 are the result of the karma of the first 8. First 8 only create karma. So 4 lots creates karma. Second lots are the results of the first lots created karma. And the last one is basically functional. So it does not create karma. So this is how the 12 different mind energies can be classified and explained. Do you have any questions at this stage? If you don't have any questions, thank you very much for joining, and hope you understood what I explained. If you don't, please feel free to get in touch. And for further readings, you can read these books to understand Abhidhamma in more detail. What I just told you is just a little taste or insight into this great understanding of the topic. It is well worth noting that Buddhism does not talk about optimism or pessimism. It talks about realism. So if someone says that Buddhism only talks about pain and pain of life and negativity, it doesn't. It talks about the reality. It talks about the Dhamma, or the universal laws of our mind, of the universe, of the different realms. And it talks about that, you know, there's a reality if you're born again and again in any of these realms. It explains the reality of each realm, and ultimately it explains how to get out of this never-ending cycle of rebirth to achieve the ultimate bliss of happiness, which is Nibbana. So it talks about a realistic nature of how things are and how to break away from this dream world that we are living in, and how to actually end this cycle of rebirth. So I welcome you to read these, you know, topics. You can take photos of this, and I will also post this video on the channel so you can watch it over and over again and expand your knowledge and develop your wisdom. It is through the wisdom thought that we achieve nirvana, or we actually experience Nibbana energy. So I want you to develop your wisdom through insight meditation to the level where you can experience the ultimate bliss of Nibbana. So the next lesson, we're going to cover the 28 Rupa energies, the last of the 89 mind energies, which is the Lokottara mind energies. These are the mind energies that someone who attained Sovan state, Sakradagami state, Anagami state, and Arahat state experiences. The last topic is explanation of the Nirvana Dhamma energy. So I hope you all can join, which will occur in 3 weeks from now, actually 4 weeks from now. On a Saturday like this, you can use the same link to join. So if you don't have anything, thank you very much for your patience and attendance, and may you all attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana in this lifetime. Theruvan Saranai.